In today's video, I'm going to be discussing SSI, supplemental security income, and will these benefit checks be cut or ended as a result of Social Security insolvency? That's a really good question, and what I'm going to focus on for you right here in the video. Let's get into it and talk through the details. Now, first off, I want to clarify, this video is just focused on SSI, supplemental security income, and the roughly 8 million beneficiaries who do rely on these monthly benefit checks every single month. If you're somebody receiving other benefits, including but not limited to Social Security retirement, disability, survivors, spousal benefits, this video is unfortunately not for you. Your benefits are very, very specific, and why I want to focus on SSI. Now, here's the thing. If you're receiving these other benefits, I have thousands of videos here on the channel pertaining to you and your monthly benefit, but this one is just for SSI. Now, that's the thing when it comes down to Social Security benefits. These programs are so specific, and the parameters around them are very specific depending on the type of benefit you're getting. Sometimes I do need to make dedicated videos just like this, depending on a certain type of benefit. So, I hope that clarifies it, but yes, this one is just for SSI, supplemental security income. So that's the focus of the video. And again, this can be very, very confusing. A lot of times we think, but wait, aren't SSI benefits the exact same as all the other parameters around Social Security retirement or SSDI? No, not really, okay? SSDI and SSI are very similar, but at the same time, they're also very, very different. And in this case, they're very different as well, okay? So anyway, let me explain all the details and again, answer that question for you. Are SSI benefits potentially on the chopping block, just like all the other Social Security benefits as a result of Social Security insolvency? In other words, Social Security trust fund running out of money. Again, great question. Let me focus on it. However, really fast before we get into it, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you have not done so yet, will you please make sure to subscribe down below? In exchange for that, I'll be here for you every single day, no matter what, doing all the research, watching the headlines, advocating on your behalf, pointing out anything right now you can possibly grab or take advantage of, or anything that may pop up. I know it's a rough time out there financially. Most people are really struggling right now, especially SSI and fixed income beneficiaries. I get it. I see the stories. I see your comments down below. I get it. It's a rough time out there. We've all been struggling for the last couple of years here. And again, I want to do what I can for you every single day. So again, thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate your support. Every single one of you here in this community, I really do appreciate you. So thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so you don't miss any videos going forward. And let's talk about SSI. All right, so SSI, great program. It's been around for about 50 plus years, actually about 52 years it's been around. SSI. It's a great program, but at the end of the day, we all recognize this program needs some major, major changes, right? It has fallen behind significantly over the last, 52 years or so, since inception back in the early 70s. However, here's the situation. So yes, SSI is administered by the Social Security Administration, right? You probably know this, right? Well, a lot of people have this confusion that SSI benefits are actually Social Security. Let me clarify. They're not. SSI benefits are not Social Security, okay? It is not SSDI. It is not retirement benefits. It is not Social Security whatsoever. However, this is where the confusion comes in, because here's the thing. When you look at the acronym, right, SSI, you think, wow, that must stand for Social Security, right? It does not. It stands for Supplemental Security Income, SSI, right? So anyway, you probably already know this, but again, this is where a lot of the confusion comes in. In fact, I've had talks with many people about this where they insist, I'm receiving, Social Security. It's SSI. And I'm like, okay, it's not the same thing, right? So again, it can be very, very confusing. But again, what I want to clarify, because when it comes down to SSI, you're actually in a pretty good position here, okay? All right, so yes, SSI is administered by the Social Security Administration. However, does the money from SSI come out of the Social Security Trust Fund like retirement or spousal or survivors or SSDI benefits? The answer is no. No, SSI benefits do not come out of the trust fund from Social Security. Is that a good or bad thing? Well, it depends how you look at it. In this case, I would say it's probably a good thing. Where's the money come from? Do they snap their fingers and it comes out of, comes out of midair or thin air? That's not really the case. It'd be nice if that were the case. I wish we could all snap our fingers and just have some money appear. That's not how it works, but SSI benefits come out of the federal federal just general fund, okay? Sorry, I almost said trust fund. It's not the trust fund. Sorry. Federal general fund. That is where the money comes from, okay? So SSI benefits just comes from general funds from the federal government, basically, and then Social Security takes that money and they administer it to the beneficiaries. Does that kind of make sense? So basically, Social Security is like the middleman, right? So the money comes in from the federal government general fund. Social Security is like the middleman, essentially, and they distribute it to the beneficiaries, okay? So they're kind of like the third party here in this situation, okay? That's where it comes from. Now, why? Why would Social Security be the ones who do this? Because they're good at distributing money to millions of people every single month. They know how to do it. They have a system down. They're pretty good at doing it. They've been doing it for about 90 years. So adding another 8 million people to the list of sending out money to is not that hard for them to do, right? So when it comes down to money being distributed on a monthly basis to millions upon millions of people, we can trust that Social Security will get the job done. And they do, right? So that's exactly why they've essentially been recruited or hired to do this, right? So it doesn't really work that way, kind of, but at the same time, essentially it does, right? So that is what comes down to. Now, long story short here, since SSI funds do not come out of the Social Security Trust Fund, okay? There's two different trust funds for Social Security. The money for SSI does not come out of those trust funds. Therefore, in the event that Social Security becomes insolvent, in other words, they run out of money, and the essential savings account for Social Security, the true trust funds, the old age and survivors trust fund, or the disability trust fund, if those were to run completely dry, would SSI benefits be impacted? The answer is no. Why? Because again, the money for SSI beneficiaries comes out of federal general funds. That's where it comes from. Therefore, unless that dries up, which I highly, highly, highly doubt it will, because that is just tax revenues that come in, unless that dries up, SSI benefits are not going to be cut in any way, shape, or form, and they do not have any impact to potential insolvency of Social Security, if that makes sense, right? I know, it can be very confusing about this, but wait. It's Social Security, they administer it, and my benefits won't be cut or at risk? Well, essentially, no, based on how it's laid out right now, because the only benefits that potentially have risk built into them because of potential Social Security insolvency would be all the benefits I mentioned earlier: Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivors, spousal benefits. Again, these are the benefits that would potentially be at risk of cut, potential garnishment, or basically reduction as a result of insolvency, because those are the ones that get their money out of Social Security payroll taxes and out of the trust funds from Social Security. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like a couple big savings accounts. That's what the trust funds essentially are. They're big savings accounts. They're huge savings accounts that have tons of money sitting in them, and they draw into these trust funds for benefits for beneficiaries, okay? If your money is not coming out of the savings account, but it's coming out of a different area, like what it is for SSI here, federal general funds, then no, this does not have any impact to insolvency. Does that make sense? So anyway, hope that clarifies. And again, if you're an SSI beneficiary, this whole talk about Social Security insolvency does not impact you whatsoever, okay? It only impacts other Social Security beneficiaries at some point potentially in the future, if that makes sense as well. Anyway, I hope that explains it. As always, please leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you want to come back and elaborate on this a little bit further and make another video or whatever, I can certainly do that for you. But I do have many other videos here on the channel talking about the details of the Social Security insolvency and potential benefit cuts and all the details like that. So again, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Share the video with your friends on my social media. Go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library, or check out the videos down below in the description. I've hand selected those for you, as well as the top of the comment section, or the ones that you see on your screen now. Enjoy your day, and hope you enjoy those videos, and I'll catch you again later.